let me say a few things real quick here to address a couple things. One is Jaron Johnson wasn't on the bench. The reason was nothing with discipline or anything. He, per NCAA rules, and let me address the situation with Jaron. When we were recruiting him, I was aware of a potential because I knew the rule. You know, that's my job, is to know the rule book inside and out, and I pride myself on that. And there is a rule in there that states that if you're a high school kid, you're allowed to receive educational expenses other than immediate family members. It can be a family friend. It can be from anyone, educational expenses. Once you enter a 2-year or a 4-year institution, you no longer can receive educational expenses unless it's from an immediate family member. I was aware of that rule. I was aware that he received educational expenses from a family friend. We turned it into the NCAA. We were very aware of it, and I knew he was going to have to probably sit a game or 2 or 3 games. That's what it ended up being. So it was fair ruling. In fact, the ruling is going to actually go away in 13-14. They're taking that actual rule out, but it is a rule right now, and you got to abide by those rules. So, and part of the rule, which we are aware of, that if a student athlete is ineligible to compete for competition, he's not allowed to miss class for a practice or a game. And he has a Monday night class, so he was not allowed to be at the game because he had to go to class per NC2A rules and all that. So that's why Jaron was not on the bench. Overall, I loved our effort today for the first 30 some odd minutes. I mean, even the first part of the game, we gave up some threes, but that's going to happen. I mean, but we played well. We played hard. We had great energy, really good energy. The last 6, 7 minutes, we didn't have the same type of energy. And I told our guys that. We got a little lackadaisical. We didn't finish the game. That's something that we've got to get better at. Farrakhan Hall had food poison at 4 in the morning, so he was IV'd up all day. I didn't know if he was going to play. Adonis hurt himself in shoot around today. I didn't know if he was going to play. I went in the game thinking he wasn't going to play, so that's why I took him out with 9 minutes to go, just to ice him down, to make sure we had just to get him healthy. So other than that, overall I thought there was some real positives. 47 boards to 31. I thought that was a big thing for us. 20 offensive. I thought we had good energy overall, like I said, and we missed some threes. I mean, Chris is a better shooter than 2 for 8, and he's a better 3-point shooter for that. He did a good job defensively, but 9 turnovers. And so again, there are some good things that we did, some things we got to get better at, but overall it's a W. Of course. And let me say this, Christian Brothers was good for us. I'm just telling you, we had our best practices following Christian Brothers. That was, I gave the guys off Thursday, I met with the guys individually. We had great practices Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we had a tremendous shoot around today. And everything's about pace. And I really examined myself. I said, why are we, and I said to myself, and I said, it's our pace. I've done so much teaching and stopping in the half court, like we'll go down and back, and I'll stop it to teach. I'm like, that's not how the game played. I remember Coach Olson always told me that you can do all the half court drills you want, but in the end, the game is still played this way. So I told our staff, we're going to have sloppiness. There's going to be some not real sound stuff, but we've got to let the guys go without stopping and just let them play. And I felt our pace in practice was really good, and I felt our pace in the game was really good, regardless if they played zone or man. Us offensively and defensively, until the last 6, 7 minutes, our pace wasn't as effective as I would like it to be.
Josh, good moves all over the ground, diving for loose balls. A freshman playing his first game. What do you think it means when an upperclassman sees that kid doing what he was doing?
I thought Shaq energized Tark Black. I thought Shaq gave energy to Tark, and I thought it energized the whole team. I mean, we were on the floor. I'm a big thing about 50-50 balls, and guys were diving all over the floor. I had no issue with their effort whatsoever. They were diving. They were coming up with 50-50 balls. All the guys. I mean, Shaq, but all the guys were on the floor and hustling and giving second and third effort. So really proud of the guys for the effort that they gave. Yeah, Antonio was an isolated incident. We dealt with it, and And so we moved on. There's consequences that he knows that he will have, and he and I dealt with that individually. And he's, like I said, it was an isolated incident. It was so out of character for Antonio, so out of character. And you guys all know, I mean, he's as dependable. I mean, he's probably actually him and Joe Jackson are guys that for going into their third year here. I mean, I've never had an academic report with their names on it. They're in practice on time. They're dependable guys. So again, things happen. It's just part of life.
Do you ever feel like you're in the midst of a soap opera a little bit? I mean, as you embark on a new season here, last year you and Joe, you never know what's going to hold.
Well, I mean, you know what, Memphis basketball, we're you know what it is, Jeff, is I love our team. I love our guys. We have good guys. And, I think sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle that how good of guys we have. I mean, guys are representing the program. I mean, at the highest level. I mean, I get so many letters, and every time I get a letter, I forward to Dr. Raines and Tom Bowen. And just about someone in the community says, hey, I met one of your players, and they were so gracious. They were gentlemen. They held the door open for. I mean, stuff like that. And I think that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle. But we have good guys. We're not a perfect team, and that's where I go back to pace. We're a team, even in the way we play, we're probably going to be sloppy at times. But it's so important for who we are with our personnel that the pace favors us, and the pace meaning offensively and defensively. When you have good pace, that's how you can still win kind of ugly or grind out games. But I thought Joe really did a lot of good tonight again. I mean, 6 assists, 2 turnovers. He had 6 boards. He was diving on the floor. I was really proud of Joe. Joe really, and what I'm proud of is back-to-back games. He played well against Christian Brothers. He played well. In fact, he played really well in the private scrimmage. He played well against Christian Brothers, and he played well tonight.
Speaking of, Coach, he played 34 minutes. Is he a guy you just got to have out there?
Well, as you saw tonight, I shortened my rotation. I mean, if it was a closer game, I like it when we can have huge leads. I can play around with stuff, but obviously I'm tight in the rotation, and that's just the way it's going to be. So those guards are just going to have to play a bunch of minutes. Yeah, Stan. I mean, I love my man Stan. I talked to him after the game. I put him in. I know he was frustrated because he didn't get in the first half, and Stan I took him out because he missed that dunk. I felt he should have dunked the ball. I wanted to put him back in, and he said something. He said, "Sit your butt there," and it was pretty simple on that. But I talked to him afterwards. I told him it's energy. It's energy. When I call his name, he's got to be ready to go. He's got to fly in. And look, I mean, Stan's a sweetheart of a young man. It's all these guys. It's part of a maturing process. It's part of growing. You're dealing with young people who are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and it's just part of maturing. There's going to be some ups and downs with it. It just which is tremendous. We're in an intense area for coverage of basketball, so it was good. I don't know. But our first 6 possessions of the second half, we hit 5 of our first 6. I really think, and this is what I told Damian when I subbed Damian in, because we had it going, and I put Damian, and I told Damian he was an energy. Damian is going to be a really good player. Really good player. He's got a lot of abilities, but he was an energy taker tonight. He's got to be an energy giver, and I felt when I put him in, he didn't have that same energy. He's got to be a spark like DJ. And so I don't know if it was much as the zone, because we got some good shots. I mean, I thought our post-to-post passing was good, and I just think we had some open looks. We got to stick them. Like I said, if Chris hits 2 more of those threes, you're sitting here saying great zone offense, Josh. So it's just one of those things. No, I mean, we've got to be better at finishing games. We have to be able to finish the games. Now, I was making substitutions. I was subbing a lot. As you've noticed, I don't like to sub if I don't have to. I mean, had that one run. I pull guys off the scores table when they're about to sub if I feel we're on a run. I wanted to get Damian some time. I wanted to try some different combinations just to get some guys going. I would have left Adonis in more, but I wanted to take him out just for precautionary reasons. So I don't think there's anything more than just, you know, because of the lead and some things like that. I mean, what it will do for us, just like the Christian Brothers game, it gives us good tape to watch, to build on. You know, if you win by 50, you know, or 30, you know, maybe the guys get it big-headed. I'm telling you, all these things will be good for us. The bottom line is getting the W. There's nothing more important than getting the W.